Oddio. È partita instant, non me ne sono nemmeno reso conto. C'è il reveal della nuova season di Rainbow Six. Come cazzo si chiama? Deep Freeze. Sono stra-hypato per questa stagione. Ho visto dai social di Ubisoft che il nuovo operatore sembra veramente interessante e soprattutto utile nel gameplay di Rainbow. Finalmente non sarà un operatore un po' come Senso Grim, che sono veramente terribili. Lui sembra molto forte, soprattutto per la sua modalità da anti-breacher, mezzo mute, molto figo. Sono molto curioso di sapere su come loro abbiano modificato le granate. Sono molto curioso di questo perché le granate sono sempre state un problema molto rilevante in Rainbow Six. Soprattutto quando si è appresa quella skill dalle granate dal basso. Quindi rimane così con la granata in mano, bam, lanci sul muro, esplode e muoiono tutti. Hanno già provato a nerfare l'anno scorso con facendo di raggio, però non è stata una bella soluzione.
And welcome to Operation Deep Freeze. I'm Camille Salazar-Hadaway, and we're gearing up for the final season of Year 8 of Rainbow Six Siege. To get us started, creative director Alexander Kopazis is here with an overview of the season and some roadmap updates.
Onboarding, controller, vabbè non ho finito di leggere, Cristo Dio. Roadmap update.
Hello everyone and welcome to Operation Deep Freeze. The entire Siege team is really proud of the work that we're about to show you today. Before that, we have some updates on the roadmap that we want to communicate to you. One of the big changes is the shield rework
che c'era quest'anno, big update.
We want to give it a bit more time before we can finally put on
che
the
poi
polish
muovere
that
visuale
it deserves,
senza spostare lo
which means
scudo.
that we'll be pushing it into Year 9 Season 1. However, we want to show you these changes this season.
L'hanno spostata alla season 1 dell'anno 9. Però potremo testarla nei TTS. Quindi carichi domani che quando escono i TTS ci faccio subito il video.
On top of all of this, we have a new operator, Tubarao,
Tubarao.
coming to the game, joining Wolfguard.
Let's go to the gym, buddy.
Portugal.
I need more bullets.
A new ability. We have a new map as well, the Lair, which is Deimos's HQ for all of his nefarious deeds.
Sembra molto figa la mappa esteticamente. Esteticamente.
Design different type of gameplay. For example, one of the spawn point, the shooting range, leads directly to the top floor since its elevation is at the same point. So this is one of the cool features of the map. Since it's a cave, you can imagine there's lots of different tunnels, there's lots of access, and these spawns are also very safe. So if we look floor by floor and let's start with the basement, you can imagine it's very damp, dirty, we work with dangerous chemicals. On this floor we have one objective, lab and lab support. What's interesting is that the lab is right at the center of the layout, so most paths will inevitably rejoin into the objective. So from round to round, you can use different type of strategies and you'll always find something new. The first floor, in contrast with the basement, is a lot cleaner, it's a lot brighter. Interesting thing is that players on defense will have to watch out for the breachable external wall, but we made sure to give enough covers
questo pezzo qua mi ricorda
to make sure that the defenders have enough flanking paths. If we go on the active, let's talk about the second floor. Also very different compared to basement and first floor. It has a more refined look. We have an objective there, which is office and R6 investigation room. Outside of it, there's a mezzanine that attackers can use. And there's entries right into the objective. But they have to watch out because defenders also have vantage point into the mezzanine.
Okay.
So what excites me the most about this map is there's lots of way to attack, defend, and lots of different ways to strategize.
Però è esterno quello.
Lair won't be bannable for Operation Deep Freeze, and we hope you enjoy the map.
With the launch of the commendation system last season, we've been really happy to see how everyone's been using it. Giving and receiving commends, getting the alpha pack drops and maintaining their streaks, and just generally celebrating the positivities that Siege has to offer. We've also been monitoring the system and listening to your feedback, which is why the commendation system and reputation system were hooked together. now acting as one to provide guidance, to promote positivity, and to create a safe play space for all. With the updated Reputation Center UI, you're going to see a lot of information all about how to get the best standings. You'll see information about how the system works, about each of the individual standings,
però c'è un problema
and
su
personalized information dedicated to you.
questa
You'll see
meccanica.
things such as guides about how to spread positivity, about the individual
C'è un
impacts that
problema,
will be
è
affecting your
che
account
da
once
questa
you leave
season
grace
a me si è abbassato un
as
botto
well
sta
as
cosa
tips and
per il
tricks you can
griefing,
use in your matches,
letteralmente se
throughout
lancia
the
un
game,
C4 e
and
rompo
even
il filo mi
beyond,
conta come
to become
griefing,
great Siege community
non
members
funziona bene sta
and great
cosa.
Siege players.
So the current state of frag grenades in Siege is that they're incredibly powerful. Basically, they are killing machines. You don't have time to react to them if they're cooked properly, and they can take out a decent amount of utility, and by decent, I mean all utility, depending on how they're being tossed, and they can take down soft destruction. What are we doing with the frags? We're removing the ability to cook the grenades. They're still as powerful as before as far as like the damage they can do when they're killing potential,
Bella
but it's more
modifica!
reactive for the defenders. So basically,
È una bellissima modifica questa, almeno cioè non può più caricare la granata.
But again, we are removing the ability to cook them. When you deploy them, they'll have a 4-second fuse
Non è male
timer,
come cosa.
and then
Ci sta un casino come... A me piace un casino, ho sentito dei bu tra il pubblico, ma tantissimi bu, ma ci sta un casino.
And distributing. We want more operators to have them and have access to them and be able to play around with coming up with new ways to build out their loadouts.
Marketplace.
We are happy to announce that we'll be launching a marketplace on Siege. So for over 8 years, we have released hundreds and thousands of skins on Rainbow Six Siege. This is a place where you'll be able to buy and sell skins between each other. We want to give you the possibility to actually sell the skins that you don't want anymore and to buy skins that you no longer can get from the store. You will be able to register for this marketplace beta through the QR code or the website link on the screen right now. This marketplace will be available on browser, through PC or mobile. All of the transactions will be made through Rainbow Six credits on this platform. We will be selecting players to give us feedback, test the feature before we fully launch it in year 9.
Coordination, teamwork, and map knowledge are crucial in Siege.
Sarà tipo un po'
Easier said than done, of
CS:GO.
course, but
Non è
two
male.
features coming this season will give you new ways to practice with your friends and sharpen your skills.
Ok,
Technical architect Alex Busby,
è
creative
la
director Alexander
difesa
Kapazis,
con
and
i
associate
bot.
game director Christopher Budgeon
Non è
have all
male.
the details.
Si dovrebbero adattare in base al...
With Year 8 Season 4, we're introducing the Versus AI playlist. The first iteration of this playlist will allow our players to compete against Defender AI operators in Clubhouse in our bomb game mode. And these AI are a bit different from what our players are used to. They are engineered and designed to emulate how our players play the game. Some experienced players might even notice the AI using their favorite power positions or gadget strategies. At launch, the Versus AI playlist will have two difficulty levels. The first aimed at onboarding new players, so a bit more of a forgiving environment to help people learn and enjoy the mechanics of Siege, while the second is there to provide a more...
MapRun is a new learning tool we're bringing for players, which allows them to specifically learn maps. It will be focused on guiding players on how to navigate and how to learn callouts and how to communicate with your squad. With MapRun, we have two learning modes: the target drill and the landmark drill. Within the landmark drill, players will be given an image as well as some different information about that specific location. Once they find that landmark, they'll be able to interact with it and they'll be given a new one. In target drill, there'll be pre-placed dummies and commonly found enemy positions on the map. That way, you can get in with your squad and start to think about where do we clear the map, where are enemies commonly found, where do they like to hide. In the target drill, you can turn aggression on or off. So now the dummies will shoot back and you'll have to get into a good position while you clear the room.
And training grounds in the game. We'll be removing situations and training grounds, or as some others call it, T-hunt, from the game. This is a very difficult decision for some very good reasons. We're introducing a lot of tools today that teach the player the game and allow them to warm up, and it brings them closer to that true experience of our ranked game mode. Every single time that we change an operator, update a map, or change the balancing that affected T-hunt, it meant that we diverted resources away from us making better and improved features in the game itself.
Do you play Siege with a controller?
No.
Then I've got 3 words for you. Full controller remapping. And that's not all. Associate producer Jane Gonkar from our Key Studio is here to share the good news.
Sono riusciti a implementare una meccanica dove puoi inclinarti senza mirare.
We are excited to announce that we are rolling out the first iteration of input customization for controllers. This will allow controller players to map up their own schematic, which is great, since those bring benefits to players wishing to get an edge of their game and accessibility for players with special needs. We are also planning to bring several smaller features, like for example, the trigger zone customization and stick zone tweaking that comes as direct result of community requests. Stick zones can now be set all the way down to 0. Just bear in mind that some devices might have drift issues depending on their make and condition. Another feature that players have been actively mentioning is improving the hip leaning input on controllers. Something we are glad to announce we have a solution coming later this season.
When you take a look at the Operation Deep Freeze Battle Pass rewards this season, you'll notice a few helpful changes. Business Strategy Director Mohammed Benhanada is back to give us the scoop.
Spero che abbiano rimosso quella merda di
I told you last season that we will be looking at improving the navigation on the Battle Pass. This season, we will be bringing the map that will be interactive. It's an easier way for you to actually see the overall Battle Pass and navigate through it.
Okay.
Can't wait to have your feedbacks on this, and it's only a first step to improve the navigation in the Battle Pass. So again, stay tuned for even more.
It's time to learn more about the operator who gives Operation Deep Freeze its name. When you need to cool things down and put the attack on ice, you'll want Turborao on your team.
Ecco qua, Turborao.
Our director.
These things are throwable that will detonate on impact. And when they detonate, they will release a super cool compound that will freeze pretty much everything in its path. As an attacker, when you step into this effect, you're gonna notice it. You're gonna be slowed down. You'll also be leaving frozen footsteps. So these footsteps are visible on the surface you're walking on, but be careful because they're also visible on the surface below. The effect is not everlasting, it's only a few seconds. If you have any of your gadgets that are in the area of effect of the Zoto canister, they will be disabled or they will be paused. We realized that, well, with really cool temperature, your electronics go down. If you have enough ice, you can also affect mechanical gadgets, mechanical joints and stuff like that. So that was kind of like the eureka moment where we was like, it can also be affecting mechanical gadgets. So when you're facing a termite and you see the charge start to fuse, you have this moment of reaction where you can deploy your Zoto canister on the wall. You're going to be stopping the termite and its track. And now you're giving your team breathing room and some time to kind of think, okay, what's going to happen? What are we going to do with this? Because it's not going to destroy the termite charge. It's just going to freeze it and stop it for a second. The wall is still going to blow up at the end of the effect. Turborao's role is one of a flex operator. This operator can both play as a roamer and as an anchor. As an anchor, Turborao's role is really to kind of slow down the push so that the defender can really react to whatever the attacker is throwing at them. But as a roamer, you can do similar things, but do it at a further distance and be kind of safe from fuse or something like that, and be able to switch between your roaming role where you disrupt the attack a bit further from the objective and be quickly running back to site and slow down whatever is happening on the objective. With the introduction of RAM, vertical play has been playing quite a big role. So with this gadget, you can use it to deploy on the ceiling and disrupt these attackers that are above you. You can also use it to slow down the attackers, freeze them, disrupt them, or also freeze other breaching shards that they may be placing on the ceiling. Frozen device. Of synergy, I would say, is the gadget denial. So you have Bandit, Kaid, and Newt. Turborao will be joining their rank and denying the wall for the attackers. You can pair this operator with, let's say, Bandit, and give Bandit more time to replace his battery and Bandit trick while the attackers are trying to breach. The second group, I would say, is the intel group. You have Pulse and Solace. They provide a lot of information and a lot of intel for Spero so he can deploy his gadget and hopefully catch the attackers that are playing upstairs or in the room next to you. The final group is, I would call the trap operator, so you can think of ALLA, Fenrir, or the other trap operators. These gadgets can be paired with the Zoto canister to really create some really disruptive and effective traps for the attackers.
Immagine c'era anche il DMR.
Taking a look at the primary weapons of Spero, we have two options. First one is the MPX, which is a classic weapon, one that you can see on the Valkyrie. It's a wonderful weapon for a flex operator. Your second option is the AR-15. Yes, a DMR on defense. This DMR creates a lot of distractions, and also the weapon is pretty loud, pretty powerful, so don't be scared. In terms of secondary weapon, we have one option, the P226 MK25. It's a reliable secondary weapon. So we wanted Spero to be able to really fulfill his role as a flex operator. So we gave him a balance of 2-2. 2 health, 2 speed. In terms of secondary gadgets, you have two options. The first option is the nitro cell, which is really useful when you play this operator in a vertical way. You can try to catch the attacker upstairs if you're able to catch them with the gadget, but be careful, don't throw your nitro cell and your own gadgets because they will be disabled. So try to play smart and try to anticipate where the players are going to go if you do catch them. The second option is the proximity alarm. This one is great to bring if you're more aiming towards using it as an horizontal gameplay. It allows you to put it in the doorway and have an early warning so you can deploy your Zoto canister in the doorway and make the attacker think twice before swinging on you. This operator is...
Lì di Street Fighter, così a caso? Sono elite? Non credo, è solo un bundle. Lì non l'hanno fatta. Ah già, da adesso? Non lo comprerò mai. Il Six Invitation 2024 dove verrà presentato l'anno 9. Ragazzi, sono hypato per l'anno 9. Sono soddisfatto del panel in generale, poi andremo ad analizzarlo bene domani quando ci saranno i TTS. E noi ci vediamo domani, spero. E ad un prossimo video. Ciao ciao.